Hello everyone, Treecks here, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Nintendo Switch. This is part 10, and this is part 2 of the Chamber Dungeons, because we're back with Chamber Dungeons. Before we actually get back to our missions, I would like to talk about Amiibo. Last time I kind of forgot this was a thing, so I didn't have my Amiibos ready. I do have them now. There is actually Amiibo support in Chamber Dungeons. There's a couple of things you can do with them. The first one being store dungeons. This game does not have online capabilities like Mario Maker has, that if you have completed a dungeon that you can upload it to a course world, so to say. No, the only way you can actually share your dungeons is to store them on your Amiibo. Scan an Amiibo while saving a dungeon and you can put it on there. And you take the Amiibo to another person, another Switch, to your friends. And that's the only way to actually share them. The receive dungeon is the exact opposite of that, of course. Works in the same way. This is what you do to get someone else's dungeon from that Amiibo. But more importantly, I mean, get special chamber. If you have Zelda Amiibos with you, you can actually scan those to get a couple of special rooms. I can't get all of them because there's a couple of special Amiibos you can scan for some special effects. Right, this was a chic Amiibo. And you actually get some extra rooms from them. In this case, a Great Fairy's Chamber. I believe it's random. It's not like that if you scan a chic Amiibo, you always get the Great Fairy's Chamber. No, as long as it is Zelda Amiibo. Speaking of Zelda, I have Zelda. Right, Zelda confirmed. And the second chamber you get is a Moblin Chief's Chamber. Remember the Moblin Chief from the guy who kidnapped Bow Wow? I believe there's up to 5 rooms you can get. This is Ganondorf. Of course I have a Ganondorf Amiibo. That'll give me Ball and Chain Trooper's Chamber. Ball and Chain Trooper we saw previously in Richard's Castle. Right, I have more. Of course, I have more. I'm an Amiibo saver. I've got Amiibos. Young Link. Let's see if he gives something special. Winged Item Chamber. Sounds interesting. I've also got a regular Link. Let's scan a regular Link. And that'll give us Armos Knight's Chamber. We haven't seen Armos Knights yet, but that's definitely a thing. And I also have, this is the final one by the way, a Toon Link from the Wind Waker HD. But since I've already got 5 of the extra chambers, that will give me nothing. Anyway, you can that way see that the game will give you a message. You've already got everything. So those are now accessible. Right, mission time. We are here for the missions, of course. This time it actually will give us some rewards. Unlike last time. But this time we are going to enter the phase where enough missions are going to be cleared to get stuff for the 100%. Right, a passage across. You can't place chambers on those light grey tiles to the upper right. The only way to reach those tiles is with chambers that have stairs. That's what this challenge is about. You'll learn how to use stairs to cross long distances. Or you'll fail. One of the two. Well, I have an idea, and I think it's going to be the first one. Right, every time you get new rooms, because of you having cleared more dungeons, they will appear as these exclamation mark rooms, and when you go over them you'll see, hey, these are from the dungeon I just cleared. This way you'll get more rooms and even get more rooms in more categories. And the ones you get from Amiibos are shown as these Amiibo signs, as you can see. This is all the rooms we just got. Right, let's quickly work on this dungeon. Of course, I'm going to keep this as simple as possible once again. So, stairs have already been placed. Let's put him over here. As you can see, it automatically has a locked door, because because there's also a locked door on this over here, they will overlap. So this regular locked door will become a boss key or nightmare door now. And it's also pretty funny how that works. Right, now we need to have a chested room over here. And this is enough. Yeah, as basic as it has to be, but it is enough. All that is required is an entrance, a boss room, and this room to have a chest in it. Well, we have that, so this is enough. It's going to be a short adventure, but still, it is an adventure. It counts. Hey, you've done enough dungeons regular game, so I'm not going to make these overcomplicated. Oh, this is actually one of the 2D sections I haven't seen yet, because I skipped that. Because there was no need for me to enter that last dungeon it actually appeared in. But hey, you can see it now. Right, let's get the boss key quickly. It is one chest in this dungeon, so this only chest is always going to be the nightmare key. And let's immediately double back to the entrance. Because that is also where the nightmare lair is placed. Did that out of convenient reasons. I know I could have placed it over here on this side of the dungeon, but hey, this was supposed to be a locked door, so I was forced to place a room here anyway. Might as well place the boss room here then. Because that also counts as a locked door, as you may see. Whenever the game gives you a mission and it says you have to have a locked door in this style, the boss room also counts, because that the game also sees as a locked door. Remember to jump whenever they land, because they will stun you, as you may have seen last time. But then again, Slime Eye stays forever an extremely easy boss. And that mission is done. That is how easy they can be. Right, and another mission will unlock, which I knew that would happen. And it's the final one for level 1, obviously, because you may see it now on the multiple tabs being here now. This is 1 shovel, this tab is 2 shovels. There's actually harder variants, there are harder missions available. This is the final one in the easy mode. Fill up your hearts. It is up to you what chambers you use and how to arrange them. Just make sure you fill every single tile in the heart shape with a chamber. Mind how you go connecting the exit and stairs now. Yes, this is a mission, we'll see more of these, where you actually have to build a shape. In this case, the shape of a heart. You are actually required to fill every single space. It is not the case where you can just keep it as simple as you want. Every single tile has to be filled in. But that does not mean we still have to make this complicated. Of course, we do not have to make this complicated. I will still make this as easy as I can possibly make this. And hopefully therefore arrange this fast. Later in the future, if this will take too long, I will just simply fast forward whatever I am building. Because, of course, these missions will become a little bit more tough in the future. This is still the easy mode though, so it might not take too long now, but just a fair warning that the building of these things, even if I try to keep them as simple as possible, might take a while. And I might choose to go fast forward some things. But that is, in these early missions, not really necessary. So I'll keep you here for now so I can talk about these kinds of things. Just a heads up. This is obviously a little more tricky, because this actually kind of requires us to make use of basically every single tile we have right now. So you really need to make sure everything fits in correctly. Make sure I have a second staircase here. You I want. You. No, you. There. And I still need to connect these rooms. Bam. Dansky. See? Not that hard. Yet. Trust me, it will become very annoying. Some of these missions are actually really challenging. Not just when it comes to whatever you build becomes quite the challenging dungeon on its own, but actually being able to arrange the missions they are giving you can be quite challenging. But these ones are still easy. Building a dungeon in the shape of a heart, not very hard. Oh, you still have a map, by the way, when you are in chamber dungeons. And the good thing about that is it always already shows you where all of your chests are. So in case you haven't really imprinted what you just built into your mind, you can always just look at the map. There's no dungeon maps in chamber dungeons. You're always given the full map from the start. And the same applies to the compass. No compasses in here. So, unfortunately, there's no I don't know why I think that sounds so funny. I just do. And now we can double back to this side, because we'll be back here in a minute. Because the staircase I placed on that end. There's still some things on this left side I still need to get. Right, use one of my keys in here. There's another chest in here. Kill all enemies. Oh, and unlike what you see in the regular dungeons, you've seen that a couple of times. Enemies, or kill all enemy rooms, sometimes drop the keys from the ceiling, just dropping them in general, not you having to grab them from a chest, is what I'm trying to say. In chamber dungeons, even if those kinds of rooms are used, the keys, and rupees in general, whatever you get from rewards for hitting a switch or killing all the enemies in a room, it will always appear in a chest. So even if you are using a room where in the regular dungeon the key came falling from the sky, it will not happen in here. It will always simply spawn in a chest. And therefore making it easier to read your map. So if you're really doubting on where a key is supposed to be, all of the keys will appear on your map, because all of the chests will appear on your map. Keys are always in chests in chamber dungeons. That's a nice touch. Because in regular dungeons it doesn't work like that, as you may know. You actually have to have the compass and the map in order to see it in the first place. But all the keys that do not appear in chests also do not appear on your map. You actually have to use the compass for that in order to hear your toot-toot-toot-toot. But you cannot use your map for that. In this you can. Because there are no keys that are not in chests. Use that to your advantage. Yeah. I was doubting me having everything, but I actually do have everything. So I can quickly get to the final chest. There's still one more chest I placed right in front of the boss chamber, so that one should have the nightmare key. The final chest you get is always the nightmare key. It's not in a set chest from the beginning. It's actually dependent on what chest you pick up last. It's a funny little thing they added in this chamber dungeons in order to ensure that however you build your dungeon, you are always forced to grab every single chest. Don't think, oh, this chest had rupees, before I gave up or game overed or anything. Anyway, a reason for you to start over. So, oh, this chest had rupees last time I came through, so I'm just going to skip it this time. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. You have to grab every single chest, because if you skip a chest, that chest will contain the nightmare key if you grab every other chest. That is how it works. Right, enough information on chamber dungeons for now, I hope. There's still more things to come, of course. But I think most of the things that apply to chamber dungeons, especially the ones in comparison to how regular dungeons work in this game, I think have come by now. Whenever things really become complicated, I'll try to talk about it then. I'm not going to bring up any stuff that is not really relevant right now. Right, completing every single mission on the, let's call it, easy mode, will net you a secret seashell and a heart piece. Yes, you get 2 rewards for that. Yeah, they make you work a lot here, so they're not making you do it for nothing. You've got a knack for this stuff. I'm itching to see how you handle ranging a dungeon from the ground up. I'm thinking I'll throw together a thing where you can arrange a dungeon however you want. And with that we unlock free mode. That also becomes a thing right now. This is something you do not have to do, by the way. But now we actually have open slots where we can do anything we want, not being limited to missions. We can actually just do whatever we want. I will not be doing it because showing off all of these missions will show off the dungeon maker, the chamber dungeons, more than enough. But it is a possibility once you have cleared the easy mode to just do whatever you want. I hear you. The treasure chest tiles aren't too close to the locks on that one chamber. That's the point. Your job is to make a path using all of them. Remember to put some of the chests, some other chests in too. You don't want to lock yourself out of the rest of the dungeon. Yeah, this is where the key placement really comes into play, where something I mentioned briefly whenever keys first became a thing. But this is where this really comes into play in how the keys are actually placed in the dungeon, how it really works. Because this game is programmed in such a way that whenever you place chests in the dungeon... do I want to do it like this? Yeah, I can still make something out of this. Dang it. Whenever you make chests into your dungeons, whatever chest you get first will always contain the keys you need for that dungeon. And only when you run out of key doors, which is in this case 4, if you count the boss key, then the chest will contain rupees, with the exception of the final one, which is, of course, always the nightmare key. Right, let's make a few turns so we can get to this room over here. I also need to have a chest. Well, I might as well pick this one. Doesn't really matter too much. And you... Oh, I can put a Great Fairy Fountain in. See, it's a good thing scanning in your amiibos. You can actually do stuff with it. Alright, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chests and 4 locked doors. So, this, and this should be a key whenever I pick them up. And then this should be the big key if I go here last. And this should be rupees. That's how it should work. That's what this mission is trying to teach us. Alright, let's quickly do this one. And then actually make short work out of this first episode that is going to consist fully out of the chamber dungeons. Yeah, there will be more. I did not pick this version of the game to do the 100% playthrough for nothing. Doing all of these stuff that is not in the regular game. Yeah, go me. Must be super exciting to watch. I know this is not the most exciting content on YouTube, but I just really enjoy making it, so... And I know there's at least a couple of people watching who are interested in me playing. People I know personally who have kinda said, hey, you could be good at a thing like this, because they also knew this existed. And they were a little bit more comfortable to see someone do it who they actually know. Because of course there's lots of Let's Players on YouTube nowadays, even on other channels. There's Twitch and everything with the streaming and everything. You can pick whoever you want. There's a lot of people who are a lot more interesting, a lot more better at this than I am, I know. But there's also a thing of actually knowing the person you see play. That's also something that, of course, is a big factor in how you choose to watch people. Because, to be honest, I'm not too sure if I ever would have picked up this if people wouldn't have asked me to do so. I didn't have a capture card at first. I accidentally was able to get one at some point. Still don't ask me how. But, one actually got thrown into my lap, you might say, and I got the opportunity to make some videos. At first I started making Mario Maker videos. Hey, I can use this to show my Mario Maker creations to the world, even though not really many people are watching, with the exception of Meows's Revenge for some reason. But still, and then I got some friends of mine who actually said, hey, I know you a while, you know a lot of things about games, and it might actually be fun that I can watch you play, because most of these people play games a little bit or not very good at them, and they really like to see me play, and that's how it actually got started. So, and for some reason I started enjoying making these as well. I don't know really know why, because at first I didn't think, yeah, is it really my thing? Especially if I want to keep this internationally. So I could have made these videos public and just be accessible to some of my friends, but I thought, yeah, if some other people find out about this, if they discover this, they can also, of course, enjoy this if they want to. So I decided to make them public, and because of that I thought, let's keep it internationally, just talk English. Even though my English is not that great, I think, but most people don't really mind that, I've found out. So, but I gotta say, it's a little bit better than I thought it would be. I really thought, oh man, this is going to be a train wreck in every sense of the word. But for some reason, I really started enjoying this, even though a couple of train wrecks did happen. Of course, that's unavoidable. But I quickly realized, yeah, that can also be pretty fun to watch, actually. See someone fail and having these funny reactions to that and everything. Right, with that rant over, we actually have done the final dungeon for now. The next will unlock after the 4th dungeon. I don't think the color dungeon will unlock new missions. It'll unlock new rooms. The color dungeon does have some rooms that are added in this. That definitely it does add to it, but there's no new mission, so I don't think I'll be coming back here until after dungeon 4. But the color dungeon is the next dungeon I'll do. There's a couple of seashells and heart pieces and everything to get now, before we even get the chance to get to dungeon 4, but that'll be next time, because this session of chamber dungeons drained the time completely. So, yeah, I can say nothing else than see you next time. Thanks for watching, people. Treecks out.